Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most powerful ways to build wealth that's ever existed, the stock market. But forget all the complicated charts and confusing jargon. Instead, we're just going to follow the incredible journey of a single dollar to see how it can grow into a real fortune.
I mean, it's the big question, right? How do people build real, lasting wealth? And sure, you could invent something amazing or start a massive company, but there's one path that has worked for generations of people. And you don't have to be a genius to do it. You just have to understand how it works.
So let's get into it. Meet our hero. This one. Single, humble dollar. We're going to follow its adventure from just being a piece of paper to becoming this powerful wealth-building machine. And trust me, its story is going to show us everything we need to know.
So, what's the very first step on our dollar's adventure? Well, it goes through this incredible transformation. It stops being just cash sitting around and becomes something way more meaningful. It becomes a piece of an actual business.
And that transformation happens when our dollar buys what's called a stock. All a stock is a tiny slice of ownership in a public company. Now, this is so important to get. You're not just betting on a number going up. You are becoming a part owner of a real business that makes things and sells things.
Here's a great way to picture it. Imagine a huge, successful company is like a massive skyscraper. When you invest your dollar, you're basically buying one single brick in that skyscraper. Yeah, it might seem tiny, but it's your brick. You own a real, tangible piece of that entire structure and everything it represents.
Which of course brings us to the million-dollar question, right? Okay, great. I own a brick. But how in the world does one little brick help my dollar grow into a fortune? Well, it turns out our dollar has two main ways it can get paid.
So our dollar is standing at a fork in the road. One path is all about the value of its brick going up. The other path is about getting a share of the profits from the whole building. And the cool part is, a lot of the time it gets to go down both paths at once.
So let's break these two paths down. The first one is called capital appreciation. That just means the entire building, the company, becomes more valuable over time, which makes your personal brick worth more. You make money when you eventually sell it for more than you paid. The second path is dividends. This is like the building owner deciding to share the rent money with everyone who owns a brick. The company literally sends you a check for your share of the profits.
Okay, so if those two paths are the engine that makes your dollar grow, what we're about to talk about, this is the turbocharger. This is the concept that takes that steady growth and turns it into something truly explosive. This right here is the magic of the whole journey.
You know, at its core, compounding is a pretty simple idea. It's your money making its own money. The profits your dollar earns get put back to work, and then those profits start earning their own profits. It creates this incredible snowball effect that just gets bigger and bigger.
Let's make this super real. Let's say our dollar found 999 friends to join it, so $1,000. After 1 year, with a pretty average return, say 7%, it's earned $70. That's nice, but it's not going to change your life yet. But now, just watch what happens when we let that snowball roll downhill for 10 years. That same $1,000 has almost doubled. See, it didn't just earn $70 a year. The growth itself started to grow. You can actually see it starting to pick up speed.
And here it is, the big finish. After 30 years, that same $1,000 has multiplied more than 7 times over. The growth in the last few years is way bigger than the growth in the first few decades combined. That right there is the mind-blowing power of compounding over time.
Okay, I know what you're probably thinking right now. If it's really that simple, why isn't everybody rich? And that is a totally fair question. It brings us to the last and maybe the most important part of our story, the reality of the road our dollar actually has to travel.
Because this journey to building wealth, it's almost never a perfectly smooth straight line going up. There are going to be bumps in the road, there are going to be valleys, and some really unexpected turns. Understanding these risks isn't about being scared off. It's about being smart and prepared for the real journey.
So here's the reality check. The market is volatile, which just means prices go up, and yeah, they also go down. There are absolutely no guarantees. And remember, your brick? Well, its value is completely tied to how strong the whole building is. If the company does poorly, so does your investment. And maybe most important of all, like we just saw with that snowball effect, compounding needs one crucial ingredient: time. This is a long-term game.
You know, this quote from Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors ever, just nails it perfectly. The biggest danger isn't always a market crash. A lot of the time, it's our own impatience. The whole system is basically set up to reward the people who can see the bigger picture and just stay on the journey.
So there you have it. We've followed our single dollar as it turned into a piece of a business, found 2 different ways to make a profit, and harnessed the incredible magic of compounding. We've seen the huge potential, and we've been honest about the risks. The roadmap is right there. The only question left is, what's your dollar's journey going to be?